Zombie apocalypse.
Hello and welcome back, my little goblins, or welcome if you're new. Today we are going to be playing a lovely game called Dark Roast Romance. You can actually find it on itchio, as I do have quite a few lovely games that I play off of there. There's usually a playlist for it. Now, the basis of this game is you're an unfortunate fellow who has not had the best luck with the dating scene and has well, downloaded and tried many dating apps. And, well, you start off the story with being stood up and being approached by a strange man. So, we can only assume what may or may not happen. I have no idea. Why don't we go ahead and see? Oh my freaking gosh. The cursor is so cute. Okay, that's besides the point. Let's get started. You've never been a huge fan of coffee. It's way too bitter. If you're going to add copious amounts of milk and sugar, then why drink it anyway? Not to mention the way the liquid sits on your taste buds. It's the absolute worst. And yet, here you are, sitting in the last place you'd ever be, coffee shop, waiting on your date to show up. He was the one to recommend the place, claiming it had some of the best coffee he'd ever tasted. It'll make you start liking coffee, I promise. You move to take another spiteful sip from your cup, just to prove a point to no one but yourself. Bullshit. He's already 15 minutes late. Hold up. Excuse me, why were you still here? And you aren't sure how much longer you should wait before finally declaring that you've been stood up. 15 minutes ago. That is way too long. You fish around in your bag for your phone, intent on opening the dating app you met the guy on. Oh no, the charm is cute. I don't know if it's for any particular, like, anime or something, or if it's like, I don't know. It's cute though. As much as you hate sending multiple texts at once, your time is valuable as well. And quite frankly, it's being wasted. With the app open, your eyes jump to the names at the top of your shared chat. What does your name say? Zuzu. Josh and Zuzu. Except it's only Zuzu right now. Hey, I'm here. I could order for you if you want. Silence. He's still not responding. He hasn't even read the messages yet. Hello? Did something happen? I'll be here for another 5 minutes, then I'm leaving. You don't even attempt to mask the grimace on your face. Idly, you take another drink. Now, it's cold and bitter. You can relate. Ugh. My, is the coffee that bad? A playful voice asks. Your head snaps up, thinking it's your previously MIA date. It is indeed not. The pictures you've seen of him don't match this stranger at all. The man takes a seat across from you before you can even say anything in return. Well, hello there. Good day. I sincerely hope I haven't taken someone else's place. No, you haven't. Can I ask why you decided to sit here? Oops. You hope that didn't come off too rude. You were genuinely curious, though. Truthfully, I'd like to ask you the same thing. Your brow quirks. I'd rather not tell a stranger, or I'm waiting on someone. We're just gonna be straight up honest. I was waiting on someone. Oh? Was it a date, perhaps? How do you... The man's head bobs lazily in your direction. Your appearance says it all, you know. You're dressed immaculately. Anyone would assume you have a date, my dear. Not like the asshole showed up, though. Anyway, if you think I have a date, why are you still sitting here, mister? His smile widens. Cyrus. Well, you suppose it's only polite you give your name in return, even if it's clear this guy is just flirting. I'm Zuzu. His smile takes on a more seductive edge. It's lovely to meet you, darling. Cyrus then leans in closer, indicating his eagerness to continue conversing. Now, tell me, Zuzu, where is this date of yours? They must be a fool to keep a woman like you waiting. I could be waiting on a friend, you know. With such an irate expression on your pretty face, I doubt it. Were you grimacing that hard? Defeated and tired of continuing the bit, you decide to confirm his assumption. Well, the date I was waiting for must have had better things to do. Haven't heard from him since yesterday when he invited me out. A pinch forms in between Cyrus's furrowed brows at your words. So not only did he stand you up and waste your time, but he also didn't even have the decency to cancel. You scratch at your cheek as a sour chuckle spills from your lips. Mm-hmm. Sounds like you pieced it all together. Cyrus sighs. It's the same kind of sigh a disappointed parent would give. Well, it seems like you truly do need my assistance, then. The expression on your face asks the question before your mouth does. What do you mean? Ah, allow me to reintroduce myself first. My name is Cyrus, and I am a wish granter sent to Earth to help the little humans in need. And you, my dear? Cyrus pauses, dramatically making a show of checking you out despite his closed eyelids. You're suddenly extremely cautious of your outfit. Are very much in need. You squint your eyes at him. Okay, so let's say I actually believe you. What makes you think you can help me? I'd say I'm quite qualified to do so, as it is literally my purpose in life. Cyrus then puffs his chest out a bit, clearly preening. Whatever it is you want, I can grant it for you. Fame, fortune, fantasies, even love. Ah! His golden irises seem to glow as they bore into you, setting off a series of shivers throughout your body. You swallow. And what would I owe you in return if I accepted your help? Cyrus smiles, fills you with an emotion you can't exactly place at the moment. Recompense would come at a later date, my dear. But now your wants and needs are far more important. You frown. That doesn't exactly answer my question, Cyrus. The mysterious man waves a hand around dismissively. I can understand your hesitance, dear Zuzu, but please know that it is completely misplaced. As a wish granter, I have nothing but your best interest at heart, he says, placing a hand over where his heart would be. You can't expect me to just take your word for it, right? We literally met today, and first impressions haven't been the strongest, you know? How about this? I'll grant you a wish right now, something small and free of charge in order to gain your trust. If you aren't satisfied, then I'll take my leave and you won't see me again. How does that sound? Not bad at all, if you're being honest. You heard free, and that was more than enough. All right, then. Cyrus perks up at your answer. Something small, right? You take a moment to think, eyes slowly roaming over the little cafe to help with wish ideas. Eventually, your eyes settle on your now cold and very disappointing cup of coffee. Couldn't hurt to test this self-proclaimed wish-granting prowess on it, right? As a reminder, you begrudgingly take another quick sip. Yep, still tastes like cold, soggy dirt. Cyrus's head tilts a bit, curiosity leaking from his posture. I want you to make this coffee taste good, like extremely good. He pauses. Is that your wish? Hmm? It's small, so it should be pretty easy to grant. Right, Mr. Wish Granter? Of course. He rubs at his chin pensively for a moment. But are you sure you don't want your freebie on something a bit more impactful? You shake your head, then gesture towards your cup. Nah, I'll save impactful for after you've shown me what you can do. Make my coffee drinkable, please. Taurus nods once, chuckling. Your wish is my command, my dear. Close your eyes for me. You snort. What are you, a magician? Do you want tasty coffee or not, Suzu? Okay, okay, fine. You may open them now. That was fast. You peer down at your cup, quickly noting the billows of steam rising from the liquid within. Skepticism brews in your chest. You're not exactly sure what he could have done to accomplish such a thing. And you didn't hear him get up from his seat, or move for that matter. Even with your eyes closed, you could tell that much. So, how? Well, have a drink, darling. I'm confident it will be beyond your standards. All right. Still a bit hesitant, you raise the cup to your lips slowly. You then blow a few times, redirecting the pillars of steam toward the Cyrus, who just smiling away. Once most of the steam is cleared from your eyes, you take a tentative sip. Cyrus leans back in his chair, looking much too smug for your liking. Your expression speaks volumes, my dear. Still, I would love to hear what you think. How does it taste? It tastes good. Cyrus chuckles. Good enough to make you want to finish the entire cup? You pout. Yes. Satisfied, Cyrus folds his arms again. I assume we're on the same page now, then. You nod slowly, taking another longer sip from your cup. The seemingly perpetual smile on his face grows a touch. Lovely. So, would you like your first genuine wish to be? You put your cup down for a moment, licking your lips. Wait, so are you like a genie? Do I only get 3 wishes? Cyrus shakes his head no. Wish granters are quite different from the genie stereotypes you humans have come up with. First of all, we may grant as many wishes as we or our clients see fit. As long as they are willing to pay, we are willing to grant. Also, there are no word semantics when it comes to wish granting. Before granting any wish, we always ask our clients to specify what they truly want, lest we misinterpret their wish, thus granting something they had no desire for. It wouldn't be fair, especially since these wishes aren't exactly free. Yeah, speaking of that, you still haven't told me what I'd owe you, should I take you up on this whole wish granting thing. Cyrus taps a thoughtful finger against his chin for a moment. Well, what you would owe me is entirely up to my own discretion, as it would be with any wish granter. However, most wish granters are willing to work with their clients to find their optimal form of payment. So, what do you accept as payment? I've accepted many things as payment before, like food, years of my client's life, their soul, sex. Oh, you decide to ignore the last one for the moment in favor of asking about the first. Food. So you've given someone $1 million for a cheeseburger before? Cyrus tilts his head with a short laugh bubbling out, a sound akin of soft chimes. I love that that is your first question. Truly. But to put it simply, yes. Wish granters are all different in terms of what they will and won't accept. Personally, it just depends on my mood. Cyrus laughs again. I can't remember the exact wish I would need to consult my journal for that information. However, I do recall being quite taken with the idea of trying human food, so I asked my client, who was a renowned chef, to make me their best dish. It was very delicious. So, what do you want from me? Cyrus wastes no time firing your inquiry back at you. What would you be willing to give me? Hold on, hold on. I still haven't decided what I even want. Cyrus's brows lift. I would have assumed we have already closed the book on that. Is romance not what you're looking for, dear Zuzu? You mentioned being stood up, correct? If you want, I can bring your date to you. He doesn't even try keeping the evident disgust out of his tone. I can get rid of him, or I could find you a soulmate. Which of these three options appeal to you the most, Zuzu? Reflexively, you scrunch your nose up. The first two options sound awful, and the last one sounds too good to be true, if I'm being honest. Not at all. If it is what you wish, then I can do it for you. As I said earlier, that is literally the whole point to my existence. This, I don't know. Kind of feels a bit cheaty, you know? Cyrus tilts his head. I'm not sure I do. You huff. It's like, I don't want someone to love me just because you made them, you understand? Cyrus nods solemnly. I see. Then you would prefer something more organic. Yeah, exactly. You want something that feels real. Yep, you got it. You want a man who is attracted to you of his own volition. You hit the nail on the head. Lovely. It seems like we are once again on the same page. Fortunately for you, my dear, your wish has already been granted. Huh? What do you... Cyrus gestures to himself. Everything you've just asked for, I could give you. Personally. I... wait, what? Your brain is lagging a bit. Is he implying you want something that is genuine? You want a man who is attracted to you of his own volition. I can provide you with all of these things as I am very much attracted to you, dear Zuzu. Cyrus's tone betrays his seriousness. Regardless, you're still working to come to terms with it all. But how? I mean, you just met me. You can't possibly. I'm not blind, darling. One would have to not only be lacking in sight, but intelligence as well to find you unattractive. If I have not made my attraction to you quite clear, I could keep telling you how much No, no, really no need for that. You cut him off before he could say anything else embarrassing. Regardless, me being attracted to you certainly isn't the issue. If you aren't attracted to me, then we can find another use for your wish. Hold up a sec. I didn't say all of that. So you are attracted to me, then? Walked right into that one. I mean, one would have not only be lacking in sight, you sass poorly imitating Cyrus's voice. He laughs, mirth crinkling his closed eyes. You can't help but smile too. Anyway, I truly do think it would be such a shame to let you leave here empty-handed and unsatisfied. Therefore, I want to make a proposal, dear Zuzu. What is it? Allow me to stand in for your missing date. We can completely override this mediocre experience with one much more enjoyable. What do you say? What do you get out of this, or sounds good? Um, I'm curious what he gets out of this, but we're going to just full send it, and then like I'll do like a short with the other options. So, actually, that sounds a lot better than what I originally planned. Oh, what did you have planned? You snort. I was gonna head home, eat some junk food, and doom scroll until I fell asleep. Oh, Cyrus doesn't look like he's judging you, but he does look a little concerned. That doesn't sound like a bad way to de-stress if we didn't take the current circumstances into consideration. I'm glad I approached you, Zuzu. You return his smile. Me too. You definitely made today much better than it should have been. I would like to make it even better. Perhaps we should head to a place you genuinely want to be in first. Where would you like to go, dear Zuzu? All right, so we can go to the park, a restaurant, or the library. Why don't we go to the library? How about the library? There's a few books I've been meaning to check out, actually. Oh, but you aren't a fan of reading. We don't have to go. I do enjoy reading, so a visit to the library is a great suggestion, Zuzu. Really? That's great then. Why don't we head there now? It's sure thing. Ah, but before we head out, allow me to pay for your coffee first. I didn't even finish it, though. Plus, you shouldn't have to pay for something you didn't even order. Yes, but shouldn't the person who set a date up be the one to pay for everything? I don't know about that. I guess it depends on who you ask. If you ask me, then yes. Also, I only want you to have good memories when you look back on today. You laugh. You're spoiling me, Cyrus. A well-meaning smirk plays at his lips. I haven't done enough to constitute a spoiling yet, darling. Paying for your drinks is the least I can do. Cyrus stands up before you can say anything else in opposition. Again, spoiling, you call after him in a light-hearted tone. The local library isn't too far, and you've pretty much memorized the directions to it. Cyrus is more than happy to follow your lead. The library isn't too busy today. That's fortunate. Agreed. The atmosphere is quite lovely as well, right? That's why I like coming here so much. If I have time, I'll even sit down and read a bit before I borrow a book and head out. That sounds like a good idea. Why don't we look around and find something we can read together here? Yeah, sure. They usually keep my favorite genre in the corner of the library. If you need me, I'll be there. Of course, dear. You decide to take your time browsing through the books, figuring Cyrus wouldn't mind nor rush you. Fortunately, there also seems to be some new books that hadn't been brought in recently. Which genre do you want to check out? Adventure, mystery, psychological horror, romance, or superhero? Mystery. The mystery section looks like it has some newer books in stock. You decide to check there. Your fingers run absent-mindedly along the various spines until they finally settle on a pretty teal one. Reynard by Pickering. You carefully open the book to the story synopsis, interested to see what it's about. Private Detective Phelan Arcania is tasked with interviewing a peculiar man named Carl to gauge his qualifications, or herself. Whether or not he gets the job is completely up to the detective. Will he succeed? Sounds mysterious. Carl's attractive too, so bonus points. You look down at the book in your hands, smile, satisfied. I guess I should go find Cyrus now that I've found a book. Cyrus isn't easy to find. After searching for what felt like hours, you finally find your date on the first floor nestled between many bookshelves. It's almost like a maze. There you are, you yell once Cyrus is within earshot. He turns to face you immediately, smiling. Hello, Zuzu. I'm sorry, I didn't think you would decide on a book so quickly. I was going to come to you. No, it's fine. I thought I'd take a bit longer too. Cyrus gestures to the space beside him. Come sit by me. I see you found a book, you say conversationally. Cyrus chuckles. Indeed. It looked interesting, so I picked it up. How is it so far? I can't quite say, I've only read a few lines. Would you like me to read to you? There aren't many people around now, so we wouldn't disturb anyone. Sure, I'm curious to see what you chose. Fantastic. The sun was beginning to set, and she hadn't found shelter yet. In addition to the incoming darkness, storm clouds were all rolling in. With an impact huff, the weary woman forced her legs to move faster until they ached. She figured dealing with some sore muscles would be much more tolerable than being soaked and unprotected in the dark forest she was stuck in. The last thing she wanted was to be surrounded by hungry creatures and run through the woods for her life. The thought alone made her shudder and walk just a tad bit faster to avoid such a fate. Fortunately, it wasn't long before she came across a sizable building, one she assumed to be an abandoned castle. There were no holes in the structure, and it looked to be fairly stable. As she came closer to the castle's entrance, one thing did bother the woman, however. The castle was surrounded by murky swamp water, and she had no desire to go anywhere near it. Dis- Disregarding the swamp, she pushed open the castle doors and crept into the building. The heavy doors closed behind her noisily as she sank to the floor with her back to them. She could hear the rain beginning to pelt the surrounding area, causing her to smile in relief. She had gotten inside just in time. Taking a moment to look over her supplies, she figured spending the night before Taking a moment to look over her supplies, she figured spending the night here would be the best option. Eventually, she got up to examine the area, quickly noting the candles that were lit in various places. Strange. Why would there be lit candles in an old abandoned castle? She quickly reassured herself that it was nothing that another squatter could have just lit before leaving. Yes, that had to be it. After all, what kind of person would live in such a secluded, murky area? It was impossible. Her reassurance almost worked. Almost. It wasn't until her foot hit something on the floor that her fortunate fantasy crumbled to dust. It was a decaying skull. Lord knows how long that's been there. Once she recovered from her temporary stupor, her panicked eyes darted around. As if they had just materialized, she finally noticed all the bones littering the castle's floor in different shapes and sizes. She wasn't even sure how she had managed to miss them. There was so many. Subconsciously, she began backpedaling from whence she came, only to be stopped in her tracks by a smooth voice calling out, my, it's not every day that I receive a visit from a little human such as yourself. She tried her best to pinpoint exactly where the voice had come from, but it was difficult to see in places where the candle's light wouldn't reach. Leaving so soon? Why haven't you even been introduced? The hypnotic voice practically purred. Every fiber in her being shouted at her to just run, and she wasn't exactly keen on sticking around to find out who was speaking to her. Without responding or even grabbing her bag, she took off toward the castle doors. However, her escape plan was quickly impeded by something large and heavy slammed down in front of her, blocking the exit. She practically had to force herself to turn around, body rigid with fear. Hmm. Humans, honestly, your manners are deplorable. Not only are you trespassing in my home, but you also don't even bother to greet me. The sight before her was the one she had never glimpsed in her entire life. It was a well-dressed man. Well, calling it a man would be somewhat of a stretch. He was wearing a fancy robe with baggy sleeves and jewelry that complemented his long, flowy hair. In lieu of legs, his bottom half contained only a long, wide tail resembling a snake's. Her head jerked back and forth between him and the door, and she soon came to realize that his tail was what had blocked her escape. The creature gave her a smile, eyes hooded as his forked tongue flicked out from in between his lips. Awfully quiet, aren't we, human? Have you nothing to say for your lack of manners? For whatever reason, her brain just couldn't comprehend what she was looking at, let alone register the fact that it was speaking to her. The creature rolled his eyes before slithering closer, bending his head down until he was almost at her height and staring directly into her eyes. Her body was still frozen, and she couldn't bring herself to move as the creature sized her up with thoughtful hum, tongue still flickering. Trying her hardest to swallow down her fear and apologize, she finally opened her mouth to speak. I'm sorry, I didn't know that this place belonged to someone. She was unsure of what this creature's intentions were, and the various bones scattered everywhere didn't exactly fill her with hope. Ah, so she speaks. The snake purred lowly, a grin spreading across his face. Well, I was just trying to find shelter from the rain. I didn't mean to bother you, sir. I'll just be going now. Now, there's no need for you to leave in such a hurry, he said as his fingers slipped underneath her chin, lifting her head up higher to make eye contact with him. After all, pretty little Snack has come to me of her own volition. This is an occasion that must be savored indeed. It took all of the courage in her body to knock his hand away and take a few shaky steps backward. Snack, you don't really plan to eat me, right? God, she wasn't even sure why she had asked such a redundant question. The bones on the floor should have been answer enough. The snake creature didn't appear to be offended at all. He had slapped his hand away. If anything, she was amused. If anything, he was amused, grinning at her with his fangs on full display. He purred, slitted pupils dilating slightly as he drank in her horrified expression. Is there really no other way I can leave this place in one piece? She pleaded, hoping that even a shed of mercy lay dormant in that cold heart of his. Unfortunately for her, there was none. Hmm, I'm afraid not. Really is a shame. Let's just say wrong place, wrong time, human. The creature's tone held no remorse whatsoever as he slowly slithered toward her. Please don't eat me. I'll do anything, please. Surprisingly, her plea actually managed to stop the snake in his tracks. He appeared to be contemplating something. Anything? Really? He asked, tongue flickering momentarily. Yes, anything. She could already feel regret settling in her chest, but anything else would be better than being eaten, right? The creature said nothing as he slithered even closer, fingers holding his chin as a thoughtful expression passed over his handsome face. Now that I'm getting a better look at you, the body isn't half bad, little human. He gave her a wide smile once before voicing his final decision. If being my meal does not satisfy you, then you will be. Whoa! You slap a hand over Cyrus's mouth before he can continue reading. Thank you very much. Hold up a second. It's just mud? You feel him smiling behind your hand before you remove it. Well, yes, I suppose it is. He had to have known where he grabbed it off the shelf. You sigh deeply. You can't read this filth out loud in public. Oh my God. I'll stop here for now then. If you'd like, I can lend you the book. You side-eye him for a bit before speaking. When you're done with it, then I will lend it to you. Well, now that we have our books, would you like to head home? Sounds good. I think our new book for now is more than enough. Agreed. Cyrus holds his hand out to you. Shall we? The walk home is pretty uneventful. The topics are trivial, ranging from food you enjoy, animals you like, and whether or not you think a zombie apocalypse is survivable. Pretty trivial. Tell Cyrus you can make it home from here. When you're about a block from your place, you stop walking. Cyrus stops too, and you turn to face each other. My house is just around the corner, so I can make it from here. That's good to hear. Cyrus? Yes, Suzu. Thank you for walking me home, and for taking me out, too. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Could I make a wish now? Of course. Then I want to see you again. What kind of payment would you want for granting this wish? Hmm. Cyrus pretends to mull over your words, rubbing his chin. I think 5 kisses would suffice. For now. Isn't that a bit excessive, Mr. Wish Granter? I actually gave you a discount since I was going to ask for 10. You managed to control the large, goofy grin on your face, so you can give Cyrus his payment properly. You start by kissing both sides of his face, his forehead, his nose, and finally, his lips. When you're finished, Cyrus chuckles. You're absolutely adorable. Did you know that? I will seriously ask for 10 next time. You smile, feeling your cheeks beginning to ache. It's been a while since you felt such a thing. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good night, Zuzu. Because of you, I actually will. Cyrus takes your hand, then places a slow kiss to the back of it. As he lets your hand go, he suddenly presses his fingers to his lips. It's like he's committing the feeling of yours against to his memory. The expression on his face makes you feel hot, and you find yourself unable to move for a second. You swallow. Um, how will I get in contact with you again? Not to worry. I'll always know when you need me. But if you'd rather be able to call me instead, I can do that as well. Yeah, that's cool too. After you exchange numbers, you give him a bashful smile. Good night, Cyrus. Good night. Once Cyrus turns around and starts back the way you came, you turn as well and begin your walk around the block. Absent-mindedly, you reach for your phone again to check the time. Then a thought you had stored in the back of your head suddenly comes to the forefront. You have an app to delete. End one, a lovely date. All right, that's gonna end up being where I call it for today. I really enjoyed the game. Overall was really cute. I kept having to remind myself that this is a yandere game, so can only imagine what that payment actually is going to end up being because I have a feeling it's not exactly what our character thinks it is. But that's besides the point. If you happen to like today's video, go ahead and leave a like to let me know that you enjoyed. Subscribe if you'd like to become part of the Goblin Army family. And if you'd never like to miss a post, push that bell icon. Now, you spread positive vibes. Spread positive vibes. Until next time, I hope you have a goblin-tastic day. Bye!